Happy Tuesday morning, class. Today is March 24, 2020. Today's learning target is to be able to gather reliable information from multiple sources in a diverse variety of places. Here's the plan for today. First, I'd like to do a little bit of review from what work we did yesterday. After that, I would like to go through some events that have happened that aren't directly just coronavirus, although some of them were directly affected by it or caused by it. So we'll go through some current events, just of what's going on around the world, which is something I usually do, but haven't really been able to do lately just because of the fact that there is only one current event going on right now that the news is reporting on. After that, what you're going to do is something called the Coronavirus Anthology. This is something you'll be able to do with a group, and this will be due not today at 3 p.m., but tomorrow at 3 p.m. So you've got 2 days to work on it, which should be more than enough time to get it done, especially if you choose to work with a group. So first, just some quick review from yesterday. Thank you for those who turned in your peer evaluations. I looked to see who had turned theirs in. I saw, I think 21 or 22 have turned it in when I had checked, so that's most of you. I haven't looked at them or graded them yet when I was recording this video, but it should be done by the time you watch this video. I'm recording this on Monday. However, one thing that we didn't do, based on what I'm seeing, that I asked you to do yesterday was leave some comments and replies on your classmates' quick write posts from last week Friday. I asked you guys to choose 2 or 3 of your classmates, read what their coronavirus quick write said, and give them a thoughtful, appropriate reply that sparks further thought, consideration, and conversation. Here's what I see as of 4:26 p.m. Monday afternoon. 1 reply for Peyton's. 1 reply for Carly's. 1 reply for Trent's. 1 reply for Olivia's. Oh, we got 1 for Chloe, it looks like. 1 for Ryan. 1 for Caitlin. For Jacob. Logan. Okay, if we have 26 students and each student does 2 or 3 replies, I should get more than, no, I don't even think I got to 10 there. If you don't know how to do it, it should be pretty simple. All you have to do is, should be able to see everyone's post, go to their post. I don't know if it looks different from your Google Classroom view than it does for mine, but you should be able to see this button that says reply with an arrow by it. That's all you have to click, and then respond to their post. Realize it would really suck if I have to grade these types of things. Like, using a grade as a punishment is awful. It sucks, and it'll be your fault if I do it. Don't take me off. I'm asking you simply to read each other's, have some conversation. It's something we don't get to do a lot of with this online learning experience. This is one way we can do it. Please, by 3 p.m. today, have these replies. Otherwise, I will grade them, and I will be ticked off about it, and that won't be good for you or for me. So please get it done. It's a little frustrating. You guys should be able to do this in a matter of 2 minutes. It's not that long. It's not that hard. And I'm not giving you that much work for this class. So please get that done. It won't be an issue unless you choose to make it as soon as possible. Second thing, this is just for your information. Some events that are going on right now besides just the coronavirus itself. Over the weekend, Kenny Rogers, who was a famous country singer, passed away. I don't like country music. I don't think it's that good. But one thing Kenny Rogers is known for is taking kind of the redneck banjo version of country music and infusing it with more pop, top 40 type of music to expand the appeal of country. I would say someone like Taylor Swift kind of started off as more country and now is more pop. Wouldn't have been able to do what she's done with her success as a musician without Kenny Rogers kind of going across different genres of country into pop. So he passed away. He's just a musical legend, just so you know, whether you've heard of him or not, or listen to country or not. Second, this is related to the coronavirus, but it affects all of us. Yesterday, around noon, it was just before noon, around 11:30 or so, Governor Whitmer, she's the governor in Michigan, if you didn't know that, She had a press release, a news release, that said that Michigan is on a stay-at-home order. She issued an executive order for the state of Michigan, which basically means that everyone needs to stay home unless it is an essential service or essential business like a grocery store, hospitals, etc. until April 13. So we will be out of school at the very least until April 13. That doesn't mean we won't have online learning still. It just means we won't be at school at the very latest or earliest April 13. That was issued yesterday afternoon. She also said in her address that she will hopefully have more information about what this means for schools, specifically sometime soon, but we didn't get a very direct, clear answer for that from her yesterday morning / afternoon. Third thing, also related to the coronavirus, but it's not directly just the virus. Olympics 2020 was scheduled to happen this year, of course, 2020. That is most likely, in all probability, going to get postponed and pushed back. That's not official yet, but there's like a 99.9% chance this happens. 2 countries have declared that they will not be sending their athletes this year to the Olympics, and those 2 countries are Australia and Canada. I read news articles that say the most likely thing that's going to happen is it's not going to get postponed to later this year. It's probably going to get postponed all the way to next year when things are safer all around the world. And then hopefully countries like Australia and Canada will be able to join and reconsider their withdrawal from it. Fourth thing is not something that has happened yet, but should be happening later today, later this week. In the New England area, places like New York, they are expected to have quite a storm. A nor'easter is what it's called. This is expected to dump 6+ inches of snow. We got a little bit of snow yesterday morning. We're talking about much heavier snow going on later this week. It'll be interesting to see if this will affect New York more or maybe less with the lockdown, kind of shutdown things that are all going on. In New York's in a shutdown too because they've been hit a lot by this. But they're expecting a storm to hit tomorrow and the middle of this week. Then the last thing is the Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, went to Afghanistan to meet with Afghanistani leaders over the treaty that's being made between the United States and the Taliban, a peace treaty to try to end the violence there, as well as help get U.S. troops out of Afghanistan because we've had a steady presence of troops there since the war on terror after 9/11. Reports immediately from this meeting, there was no details over whether they agreed to something and came to some sort of compromise or conclusion. And I saw a report that said that Tuesday, the leaders of Afghanistan were expected to have their response and whether they're going to accept this treaty or this compromise or not. So we'll see what happens. But some of you did a presentation on this for your intro case studies, just to give you an update on that. Right, so here's the last thing I need you guys to do. I will allow you to do this with groups, and I will let you choose your groups. I'm not going to force you to work with anyone. I'm not going to force you to work with specific people. It's totally up to you. What I need you to do, this is posted on Google Classroom, is create an anthology. An anthology is a collection of something. So you're creating a collection of at least 10 different articles / news sources. It doesn't have to be a news article. It could be like a news video on YouTube. It could be a podcast, something that's from a news source. Find 10 of them that all relate to the coronavirus. You are going to be later answering this question, a reading-based / research-based question. That's what RBQ stands for. Should we, the United States, Michigan in particular, shut down school, at least school in the physical sense, so we're at the building of WMC. I'm not talking about shutting down online school for the rest of this school year, 2019-2020 school year. So that's something that we should do. So look up 10 different articles and sources that are diverse. So find them from different news sources. Don't give me 10 articles from Fox News, CNN, whatever news source. Balance it, make it diverse. Give me 10 that are reliable, not just some random person's personal blog, not like a Weebly site. Reliable, news source, and give me 10 that help create a comprehensive, research-based view of that question. You are covering all angles of the situation. So some of these sources should be focused specifically on the impact of this virus on schools, but look at how this virus has impacted our society in other ways. They have a well-rounded approach to your research. Once again, you can choose your groups. Feel free to share the Google Doc. However, I would like each person to individually turn in their own copy of the document. So if you share it with someone and it was somebody else who shared it with you, you have to make a copy of the document and then add it to Google Classroom to turn it in. So each person turn in your own, even if you're collaborating on the same one. All I ask is that your groups are no more than 3 people. If we have 4 or more, that's too many for me. Groups of 3 or less, 10 news articles and sources. The worksheet's pretty self-explanatory. You're going to tell me where the source is from and give kind of a quick overview of what the source talks about. All of this is eventually going to lead you to answering that question at the top, that research-based question. For citing your sources, you don't need to do an MLA citation. All you have to do is cite it. You're going to be justifying what makes it valuable, what makes it reliable, what makes it worth using to form your opinion on this. More details to come on that later. For now, this is due Wednesday, 3 p.m. You will have another video tomorrow, but it'll be short and it'll be more of a check-in video. Let me know if you have questions. Keep checking PowerSchool. Keep checking your emails. Keep checking your Google Classroom comments. Try to keep a steady line of communication with me if you have questions or concerns about anything. If you feel like the amount of work I'm giving you so far is too much, right now my goal is to make sure that everything you do lasts no more than 40 minutes per day, because if we take 10 to 3, which is when you're expected to be working, and you divide it by 6 classes, that equals a 40-minute class. If you feel like I'm giving work that's more than 40 minutes, and you're not just being a baby and whining about it, you actually think that, please let me know. I know I've heard some students talk about other classes providing work that's maybe more than that. I'm trying to do my best to keep things manageable. Let me know if you have questions. Good luck.